How's it going, everyone? College Lefty, and in this video I'm going to be going over some advanced hitting tips. I'm going to be getting into some online gameplay, and I'm also going to be talking a little bit about my approach at the plate. So the first thing I want to get into are the settings for how I'm going to be practicing, how I'm going to be warming up. I like using legend difficulty for custom practice in order to practice against the computer if I'm going to warm up that way. I like using the PCI center as altitude, the PCI inner with wedge. I don't use an outer, I use the blue color, and I use 60% transparency. I like being able to see through the PCI a little bit. I don't like the full 100% transparency, but I do like somewhere in between there. 50 is a little bit too light. I started out with 50 at the beginning of the year, and some of these tips you might have heard me talk about already, but I do want to talk a little bit about some more advanced tips and why I do some of the things that I do. So I don't really necessarily have any pitching tips, as my ERA is about a 5, but my hitting is usually what keeps me in the game when I play MLB The Show. So I didn't want to go over all my settings. If you notice here, I have a game resolution setting. That's because I'm using a PlayStation 4 Pro. That helps me, I would say, with response time and just clarity of the frames, the frame rate, and how the game plays, along with a little bit of a better picture. I have 1080 HD even when I'm recording videos just with my PlayStation. So anyway, let me go ahead and get into this custom practice. The very first thing I want you guys to keep in mind is that I am using a gaming monitor, so it does have a low response time, which is also going to help me be precise with my timing and exact frames of when I'm swinging. So that's kind of the same thing, but it's going to help me be extremely precise with each and every frame. Another thing that I'm kind of using that helps me with reaction and response time, I use headphones. I use just regular Skull Candy headphones, and I feel like it helps me listen for that spin rate on the fastball. I mean, you can really hear the seams moving and kind of that whistle as the pitch comes in. It will help me increase the response time a little bit. So basically what I'll do is I went into custom practice against the legend teams. Doesn't really matter who you're using or who you're going up against. For this video, I'll be facing Nolan Ryan and hitting with Craig Biggio. As you can see, I put it as an 0-2 count, and I put it to repeat the play over and over again. The reason for this is because I'm looking to get the confidence meter up on Nolan Ryan. It's going to allow his pitches to move more. They're going to break more effectively. He's going to be able to dot up on the strike zone a little bit more efficiently. And also using the 0-2 count, I noticed that the pitcher, for whatever reason, will throw a lot more balls or a lot more borderline pitches. So another thing that I wanted to get into for some advanced tips is if you're playing on the harder difficulties, let's say you're playing on Hall of Fame or Legend, you can use the outer PCI. That might help you increase that size of the PCI and help you be a little bit more precise with where you're swinging the actual bat. So the PCI is a plate coverage indicator that kind of determines where your hitter is looking and where your bat is going to swing through the zone. If you notice on this slow motion frame right here, this pitch is below the zone. I swung late enough and I moved the PCI precisely down and to the right with that left analog stick as the pitch was coming in, and I squared it up with good. That pitch is below the zone. The later you swing, when a pitch is low in the zone, the lower your bat is going to swing. The earlier you swing when a pitch is up in the zone, the higher you're going to swing with your bat. So that's why you're able to hit pitches up above the zone and below the zone with perfect feedback, with good squared up feedback. And I don't want to go too much into depth with custom practice and playing against the computer. I wanted to take you guys through kind of my approach with an online opponent. I'm going to be hopping into the live series event, and I'm also going to be taking you through kind of my approach and how I was sitting in a different location during the game for my World Series matchup, or at least the game in order to make World Series. So in these 3-inning games, it's harder to determine where the opponent is trying to pitch most often. What is the pitch that they're going to most? I mean, their go-to pitch, their tendencies to throw that pitch in a certain location, to throw that pitch in a certain count. Different things are going to play a factor in what sequence the pitcher is going with. against you. So if you notice in these 3-inning games, I'm sometimes sitting, for the most part, I'm sitting inside. I'm trying to cheat on the fastball and take that away. If I notice that this opponent is throwing a lot of pitches on the outside corner, I might start to sit on the outside corner. That last opponent, I only scored 1 run. I ended up winning the game. I just wanted to take you through a couple different examples of how I'm sitting inside and reacting to the other side of the plate, if that makes sense, especially with the lefty. If I'm using righty-righty, I'm sitting on the inside corner with a righty for the most part, trying to take away that fastball with run on the inside corner. So here we are in a situation where we're down 3 runs with 2 outs remaining in the game. This opponent had been pitching pretty well. He had been going to the fastball a lot up in the zone, and that's exactly what he's going to right here. Fastball up and in. I was able to hit it. I was a little bit late. We got Ketel Marte up at the plate, so that contact, that vision will certainly help hit those types of pitches that kind of jam me, get rewarded. I'm sitting on the fastball inside. This is the first time I was facing a lefty in this game, lefty on lefty matchup, and I knew he was going with the fastball. Just had to sit on it, end up tying the game with a 3-run shot, and now looking to walk it off. In this situation, 1-2 count, runners on second and third. I have a common hitter up for my pitcher with 98 speed. I'm just looking to put the ball in play. That was a contact swing. I'm just looking to get the ball to the right side. Having a lot of baseball experience certainly helps me with this game in certain situations. I could have, of course, laid down a bunt in that last situation. If I was the opponent, I would have had the infield in. But anyway, in this game, if you notice, it's only the first inning already, and I'm sitting on the outside corner with my PCI while facing Hal Newhouser. The reason for this is I noticed that the opponent was going to the outside fastball quite a bit. He was trying to set up the slider, that changeup, that sweeping curve with the fastball up and away. So I'm going to keep that in mind. I'm waiting for it here. I missed it completely with Mickey Mantle, and I know that he's going to go back to it. I know if this is his go-to location, he's going to go back to it later in the game. Here I wanted to show you an example of kind of just a reaction swing. I dropped the PCI completely. This isn't even a good swing at all. It results in a 2-run homer that keeps me in the game. But look where I'm sitting. I'm sitting low and away. He throws it on the inside corner, and I reacted almost twice with the PCI. I brought it middle in and then just dropped it and got pretty lucky on that swing. That wasn't really skill related. That was just reaction and a good player at the plate. Gary Sheffield with great attributes kind of bailed me out in that situation. Anyway, we're in the bottom of the 5th. We get a base runner on, and I know he's going back to that fastball up and away. As you can see, there he goes right back to it. He's been going to that pitch. That's been his number one tendency, is trying to set those off-speed pitches up by going to that location. So these are things I'm trying to keep in mind while I'm playing the opponent. If it's a shortened game, I'm looking to try and figure out where the opponent is trying to attack as early as possible. I'm trying to have my timing down to where I can react and take away at least one pitch. If I can take away the fastball in a location, then I can react to the other ones. And if I can hit a home run on a specific fastball that I'm waiting for, about 50 to 80% of the time, if I'm trying to sit on a specific pitch, then I feel confident that I'm going to be able to hit well and react to an off-speed pitch and hit that maybe at a 30 or 40% rate, which is a 300 or 400 batting average, and that will help me take away maybe 2 pitches that the opponent has. If they only have a 4-pitch repertoire, we start to take away 50% of what he's working with. It's just a numbers game. It's all math related. And here, I wanted to show you just a variety of where I'm sitting with the PCI. This is all with Nolan Gorman. He was the MVP of my World Series run. As you could see in the previous screenshot, I made World Series in that last game. I did upload some of these highlights to YouTube, to Twitter. I wanted to take you through kind of what I'm thinking about as I'm playing this game, as I'm hitting at the plate. I think that hitting is the most important thing in MLB The Show because it's unlike any other game. I mean, we already saw this home run. This was the home run low and inside from that World Series game. Figured I would include it in the highlight reel with Nolan Gorman once again. But where I was kind of going with the hitting being the most important thing is the fact that you're using a controller to control 8 to 9 different batters in the game, potentially 10 or 11 if you're using your bench. But what I mean by that is, in real baseball, you're one hitter and you're facing the pitcher 3 or 4 times. In this game, you got to face the same pitcher potentially 20 to 30 times. So you want to try and figure out what they're throwing. So hopefully I was able to kind of give you some advanced hitting tips in this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Take it easy, and hopefully you can continue to have success playing this game and have a lot of fun doing so. Thank you and have a great day. Peace out.